Jade Cargill was TBS Champion for just about every day in 2022. Go off, Queen, because Willow Nightingale is coming for you in 2023.
Pro Wrestling Bits. Subscribe now.
2022 mercifully comes to an end and AEW is ready to move on. Seriously, they already have a new set design and graphics for the new AEW, which will premiere on the first Dynamite of the year on January 4th. 2022 was the most trying year to date for AEW, as Tony Khan spent the year dealing with backstage conflicts and talent relation issues. For months, AEW's locker room seemed like it was backstage at a B2K concert, right before they split up. Forget a honeymoon period. In 2022, that locker room was a honeycomb filled with ornery bees, ready to sting everybody and their dog. But 2023 is a new year, new AEW. Which brings me to the first sea-changing moment. Willow Nightingale will beat Jade Cargill for the TBS title and end Jade's undefeated streak. AEW hasn't been the greatest at follow-up, but they do have a chance to tell a long-term story. It's basically fallen into their lap. Jade beat Willow at Road Rager and then again at Battle of the Belts. Since then, Willow Nightingale has created an organic connection with the AEW fanbase and has even officially signed with the company. In a wrestling landscape where heels and babyfaces are constantly miscast and it's harder than ever to be a natural babyface, Willow Nightingale is that and more. She's the everywoman that so many wrestlers try to be and fail. Jade has been a great TBS champion, even as AEW continues to drop the ball and consistently giving her good storylines to work with. It doesn't matter because Jade is a star, and that's why Jade Cargill will be just fine after she inevitably passes a torch to Willow, let's say around Double or Nothing. 2023 could be a make or break year for AEW as it continues to negotiate a new contract. The current deal with Warner Bros. Discovery is up in 2024, so you can expect an announcement around summer of 2023. Unfortunately, there are several red flags standing in the way of a big increase for AEW. Warner Bros. Discovery has undergone intense budget cuts to the tune of billions of dollars. They've ousted one pro AEW executive after another, from Bret White to Nancy Daniels. David Zaslav is even threatening to part ways with the NBA, and to make matters worse, Tony Khan failed to secure a television deal for Ring of Honor, which will air on Honor Club as part of a subscription service. What subscription service do you think will make more money in 2023? Honor Club or Mandy Rose's Fan Time? Because I'm going with Mandy. The television market for a secondary wrestling company doesn't look promising to begin with. There's no bidding war from outside suitors to speak of, and AEW's most likely suitor is in the middle of a messy, cost-saving merger. All signs point to a lowball offer from Warner Bros. Discovery. AEW is getting around $45 million a year right now to air on Turner Networks. I say Warner Bros. Discovery offers around $70 million per year, which is a nice little increase, but lukewarm when compared to the north of $700 million per year that WWE will probably get for its television rights. $70 million versus $700 million doesn't sound like AEW versus WWE as much as it feels like AEW Rampage versus WrestleMania. A company making $750 million per year on TV alone will be enticing the top AEW free agents. But free agency in wrestling isn't just a 2024 thing, which brings me to my next prediction. FTR leaves AEW for WWE. FTR left WWE on ugly terms, but as is the case with a lot of people who sought greener pastures in AEW, FTR were Triple H guys. Their big break came in NXT when they rewrote tag team wrestling alongside DIY. Injuries and bad creative hamstrung the Revival's first run in WWE. And while FTR continues to be banged up here and there in AEW, they've been able to stay healthy and have become a top act because of it. FTR is now on the wrong side of a magnificent run as IWGP, ROH, and AAA tag team champions. Their ship sailed to complete the royal flush with the AEW World Tag titles, and now they got a job to the Ass Boys. FTR lost their ROH tag titles to the Briscoes at Final Battle, and the losing streak will continue as Tony Khan rushes to get all the belts off them before they're free agents in April. FTR would be wise to go to WWE as they cool off in AEW. They'd be even wiser to get a short-term deal where they can be free agents again around the time WWE comes up in 2024, and they sign that big new TV rights deal. For all we know, WWE might be the next place we see Miro, or Rusev, whose frustration has earned him a spot in the AEW doghouse. Man's went from talking to God to talking to dogs. His career is literally going backwards. But I do think Miro will return to AEW at some point next year, and he'll be crucified by AEW's cult-like fan base. There's a lot of drama surrounding Miro's absence, and reading the tea leaves suggests he don't like the creative being pitched for him, and he wants to go back to WWE after COVID canceled Rusev Day. Tony Khan's narrative is winning out against Miro's, who is being portrayed as a prima donna who looks down on AEW. Maybe Miro will be able to pull a William Regal and force his way out, but Andrade is having a hell of a time doing so in pretty much the exact situation. I honestly think AEW should bring them both back as disgruntled heels. Fuck it. AEW loves reality-based booking, even to their own detriment. AEW's hardcore fan base will not welcome Miro and Andrade back with open arms. And given how it's become such public knowledge that neither Miro or Andrade want to be in AEW, then make them outsiders. Just turn them into the Immigrant Hall and Nash, the New World Border. CM Punk can be their Hulk Hogan. Which reminds me, I predict that against all odds, CM Punk will return to AEW. AEW has still said nothing regarding the CM Punk investigation. They've been quieter than a WWE boardroom when Vince comes back. More on that next video. With the Elite back in tow, it's safe to say Tony Khan sided with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks over CM Punk. Or maybe he was able to mend fences with all of the above. Tony Khan is a diplomat to a fault. He still doesn't seem to know he's even in a wrestling war, saying he thought he was friends with Triple H and Stephanie. There are no permanent friends in business, but there aren't any permanent enemies either. In the wrestling business, if you can draw, you can work. Period. Jimmy Snuka can draw, so he may or may not have been able to get away with murder. Jeff Hardy can draw, so he'll keep getting opportunities to be the pro wrestling Johnny Depp. Same goes for Jimmy Uso, and Matt Riddle, and Hulk Hogan for one reason or another. CM Punk can draw, and no matter how many times he proves his detractors right by being a pain-in-the-ass diva at every turn, I fully expect Cousin Phil to work in the wrestling business again whenever he's ready. I could especially see a CM Punk return if ticket sales continue trending downward and the TV money is smaller than they had hoped. All so we can once again do to AEW what Elon Musk did to Twitter. Check out this video about CM Punk's most recent meltdown and subscribe because this channel is so entertaining you'll never go to sleep. What's your bold prediction for 2023? Tell me in the comments.